back in the Valley of Sun in Phoenix, Arizona, Phoenix International Raceway. Our leader, Rusty Wallace. 2 wins in 1990, one coming on a super speedway. Picking up his first pole of the year. He is pulled away. Wallace. An advantage over the second place car of Dale Earnhardt. There comes Earnhardt into your picture now, just coming out of turn 4, the Goodrich Chevrolet. Earnhardt and Wallace, possibly the 2 strongest cars in practice here throughout the week.
Time will tell just exactly who is the best. As the tires get hot, as they get a few laps on this racetrack, someone will become the dominant car. Maybe Earnhardt, it may be Wallace, maybe Mark Martin. And that's the great thing about stock car racing. You never know these things until the race is actually about 50 miles old.
Let's check the interval between Earnhardt and Mark Martin, who now is being shown back in the 4th place. There's Martin coming out of turn 4. Schrader goes by. He's the 3rd place car. Then Martin just behind him, Davey Allison. So about 20 car lengths separating Earnhardt and Martin. Great battles back in the pack. Again, we get back to that Quaker State Buick. Brett Bodine now makes the move as the inside line on Bobby Hillin in the car number 8. They are behind Sterling Marlin. What a shot at the right side door there from the in-car camera. You see how close they get. A very narrow racetrack here, guys.
It is a narrow racetrack. This is the side camera. The camera mounted right on the side of Brett Bodine's Quaker State Buick.
They're racing for 16th and 17th positions, racing just as hard as if they were racing for the lead.
Ooh, Brett almost got in the back of Sterling Marlin.
Hillin now takes advantage of Marlin's bobble a little bit and will try to go around him. Good run for Bobby Hillin in the Snickers car. Now he moves in front of the Sunoco efforts for Sterling Marlin, who had such a good run here a year ago. Brett Bodine sitting back there. It's a brand new race car for Bodine. They had the car at Rockingham, had a little trouble with a punctured radiator there, but they were hoping this car would run well on the 1-mile flat track here in Phoenix. Now he's making the move just inside the wheel. A little fender tag there as Sterling hangs on to his car, the Oldsmobile and the Buick coming together.
There comes Derek Cope in the picture. Birthday boy. Today is Derek Cope's birthday.
Happy birthday, Derek. Of course, from Spanaway, Washington. A lot of locals out here on the West Coast have come to see him race after our Daytona 500 win this year and the win at Dover, Delaware. He slips a little bit and bobbles and allows Marlin to get back in front of him.
Now here we see Morgan Shepherd in the car 15 and Harry Gant up on the outside there. They were pretty far behind this group about 5 laps ago, fellas, and they have caught up to them. So Morgan Shepherd and Harry Gant on the go.
There was a lot of confidence in the Morgan Shepherd garage area. Bud Moore and Greg and the crew thought they really had it set up to work at this racetrack here, and Morgan felt very comfortable that he was going to be a factor as he moves beneath Gant now and will start to make his move on Cope and Marlin.
The trouble Morgan Shepherd's going to have to overcome is this qualifying spot. Starting back way back in the field, and it's a long way to go. As you said, it's a narrow racetrack, and getting past these cars is going to be awfully difficult.
Well, he did start in 30th position, Benny, and he has not been pleased with his qualifying efforts. He said, we have a good car for race day, but we just can't seem to qualify well. But one thing about it, there are only front stretch pits here at Phoenix, so they don't have to worry about if they have a bad qualifying run pitting on the back stretch. Everybody pits on the front here.
Greg Moore told me they have a setup under the car much like Richmond. They've got the same kind of motor and header and compression combination. They have a similar kind of cam when they want to get the car off the corner in a hurry. A lot of crews come here with a Rockingham type setup. The car's a little sluggish off the corner, but not the 15 car. Morgan said he wants that bite off the corner so he can try to chase some people down.
As we watch this action between Derek Cope and the 94 car and also the 15 of Morgan Shepherd, Rusty Wallace is still leading in the Miller Junior Draft Money. Earnhardt is 2nd, Ken Schrader's 3rd, and Mark Martin is 4th. Cope just couldn't make the pass, could he, Ned?
No, he just couldn't get the traction he needed down there on the inside. That outside groove really beginning to work now. See, Wallace is not hugging the inside the way that we have seen them in past years here.
No, he is bringing cars in the middle of the racetrack just a little bit.
We'd like to remind the folks again that Goodyear Tire and Rubber will be donating $1,000 in the name of our pole sitter. That man right there, Rusty Wallace, is moving in on Troy Beebe's car, and that money will be donated to the Winston Cup Racing Wise Auxiliary. Thanks to the Goodyear folks and Rusty Wallace, who just slips by Beebe, winning his 8th career pole and becoming the 13th different front runner at the start of the race for 1990. There's Wallace. Where's number 2? Number 3, our 2nd place car. Dale Earnhardt in the Goodwin Chevrolet.
He's keeping pace with him, Jerry. Earnhardt doesn't seem to be gaining very much on the car number 27 of Rusty Wallace, but he is keeping pace with him.
We saw some cars making moves a little bit ago. We talked about Kawicki coming up, and he's working the rear of Ricky Rudd. Just gets beneath Rudd and puts the point of that Xerox Ford, and he will be chasing the turn 3. Rudd to the outside. Kawicki makes the move, and now Bill Elliott says, well, I'd like to make it. Can't quite get through there as Rudd slams the door.
And right in front of Alan Kawicki is Davey Allison, who qualified 4th. Started outside of the second row, and he's moving backwards.
He's backing up a little bit. Let's check in the pits with Rick DeBrule, one of our 2 pit reporters today. Rick.
Well, down here in Davey Allison's pit, the word is that his car is pushing just a bit. Not a serious problem, something they're going to adjust when they come in for those first round of pit stops, which here should take place at about 90 to 95 laps in.
And Rick DeRule mentioned pit stops. Let's bring out the fact that they're using the bias ply tires here in Phoenix, not the radial tires. So the crews will have the option of changing the stagger on the pit stop, changing the size of the tire, which will affect how the chassis handles.
Indeed, number of drivers were being very thankful they're back on the bias ply tires. Inside there with Dick Trickle, the Phillips 66N car, looking up. What a great run Rick Mast has had. Boy, he has had some impressive qualifying efforts and runs in that banquet car, the Chevrolet for Travis Carter. And, of course, Mast will be moving on to the Richard Jackson team for 1990, driving for Skoll.
And, Jerry, he just went around with Dick Trickle a couple of laps ago, so he is on the move, having a great run here so far. There he goes down low. This car seems to stick down low. He sees Darrell Waltrip up in front of him.
Boy, what 2 different lines they ran. Darrell Waltrip in the corner went very, very high down in 1, and Mast was able to keep the car on the bottom. Let's see if Darrell could keep it on the bottom up in 3 and 4. No, he's still bringing the car off very, very high.
And Darrell Waltrip is the type of a guy that loves to run on the low side of the racetrack if his car will let him. Here's another good battle.
Behind the battle you were watching a minute ago, you heard Rick DeBrule say about that car number 28 is pushing the car, literally coming up across the racetrack in the corners as Ricky Rudd now goes beneath Davey Allison. See the car push up in the corners, and now Elliott makes the move, just opens the door, and Bill Elliott drives beneath his fellow Ford driver, Davey Allison.
And I tell you, fellas, if you get a race car that's pushing in the center of the corner as Davey Allison's car is, and it's pretty warm here this afternoon, not as hot as it normally gets in Phoenix, but still the sun's shining down on the asphalt, and when that track gets slicker and slicker, that pushing problem gets greater and greater.
One driver who's pushing his way toward the front is this one right here, Mark Martin, our current point leader. Martin
right
being shown in the 4th spot, and that's Schrader, the 3rd place car. Benny, he's catching him.
He is not only catching him, he's caught him. Just 2 car lengths separating the 2.
And there's the 2nd place car, Earnhardt. Now, Martin is going to try to keep him in view all afternoon. Earnhart, and we go right up in front of Earnhardt.
Wow.
You see, whoa, boy.
Earnhardt split those 2 cars, the car of Jim Bound and Gary Collins, a couple of cars that were lapping. Wow.
Earnhardt's a man on a mission, I think.
I think he is too, Jerry.
Rusty Wallace showing the way here in the early laps of this Checker 500 at Phoenix International Raceway. Lots of laps to come your way. Don't go away. We'll be right back.